Hey, Frankie, I gotta ask you something. Bigfoot and Sasquatch, they're brothers, right? I heard they both owe Big Fat Tony Mangione a mountain of money. That's what everybody says.
Brothers, come on, Calvin. They're cousins. Different mothers, same bad judgment. And trust me, bad judgment runs deep in that family.
So Bigfoot and Sasquatch both stiffed Big Fat Tony Mangione? That's the story I've always heard around the dog park. I figured that's why nobody's ever caught either one.
No, Sasquatch borrowed the money. Bigfoot figured he was doing the family a favor and guaranteed the loan. That's the day both of their lives changed forever.
So Bigfoot wasn't hiding from campers, and Sasquatch wasn't running from hikers. They've been hiding from the money they owe Big Fat Tony Mangione. That's a rough way to spend 60 years. Funny, all this time dogs thought Bigfoot and Sasquatch are the same guy, or in this case, different guys. My cousin Nino swears they're brothers.
Sorry to disappoint. Again, they're cousins. Different mothers, same bad judgment. And trust me, bad judgment runs deep in that family. Secondly, they've both been on the run so long half the world forgot they're two different fugitives. Never co-sign for family, Calvin. Especially family that's 11 feet tall and convinced they're the smartest guys in the woods. That kind of confidence has ruined a lot of bloodlines.
So they really both do exist? I thought dogs just kept giving the same guy two different names. So why didn't they just come back and settle it? How bad could one loan really be? I mean, eventually somebody forgets about it, right?
Forget about it? Calvin, they had no idea who they were borrowing from. Big Fat Tony Mangione didn't just know people. He was the people. To answer your question, Calvin, those guys are two separate headaches. Bigfoot disappeared into the Pacific Northwest. Sasquatch went farther north, thinking colder weather made him harder to collect from.
So you're telling me every time those two thought it was finally safe to come out, somebody was already waiting? That's gotta wear on you. How long have they been hiding? Dogs have been looking for those two my whole life.
Long enough that campers started calling them legends. When you've been laying low for 60 years, eventually dogs stop looking for a guy and start chasing a myth. You don't understand Big Fat Tony's connections. He knows every park ranger, every campground owner, every bait shop, every guy selling beef jerky off a folding table. If somebody sneezed in those woods, Fat Tony heard about it before the echo stopped.
So, every blurry picture, every footprint, every grainy film clip, that was just them checking if Big Fat Tony was finally gone, checking to see if the coast is clear?
Exactly. They'd stick one foot out of the tree line, hear somebody yell, "Hey, I think I saw Bigfoot. Hey, I found Sasquatch." And they would disappear for another 10
Oh
years.
my.
That's no way to live. Hey, what was that noise? See, now you understand. Bigfoot and Sasquatch are hiding because they're both afraid of being found. Because being found is the finish line.
These guys.
And these guys have been avoiding the finish line for 60 years.
So, after all these years, they're still out there? Still looking over their shoulders? Why don't they just pay what they owe Big Fat Tony Mangione and get on with their lives? It can't be worth living in the woods forever.
They don't run because they owe money anymore. They run because after 60 years, they don't know how to stop. That's where you don't understand old school pride. For Bigfoot and Sasquatch, it stopped being about the money. They stiffed Big Fat Tony Mangione, and their pride won't let them live it down.
You ever try hiding from Big Fat Tony Mangione in the same forest where every squirrel might be on Fat Tony's payroll? That's pressure, Frankie. Sasquatch and Bigfoot aren't dodging responsibility, they're dodging existence. Every footprint they leave is basically a liability statement.
Calvin, listen to me very carefully. Do you think Bigfoot and Sasquatch are hiding out there in the woods? They're not hiding. They're allowed to be there. Big Fat Tony Mangione knows exactly where they are. Coordinates, territory, even what tree they scratch their backs on.
Frankie, I gotta be honest with you. I've heard a lot of things in my time. So you're telling me Big Fat Tony Mangione is basically running a forest-wide surveillance state, and Bigfoot and Sasquatch are just out there somewhere living on mercy terms? That's actually quite impressive.
Big Fat Tony Mangione's got guys out there who can find a lost wallet in a snowstorm, Calvin. Do you think they can't find two 11-foot barefoot problems walking around Oregon? He's showing mercy. Fat Tony could have collected on Sasquatch and Bigfoot moons ago, but he didn't.
I mean, think about the infrastructure alone. You don't just know where Sasquatch and Bigfoot are without logistics, forest contacts, maybe even owl and squirrel intermediaries. I used to think Bigfoot and Sasquatch were mysteries of nature. Now I'm realizing those two are probably just open accounts with a very patient creditor. Frankie, I don't know if I should be scared or take notes.
You gotta remember, Calvin, big fat Tony Mangione is not showing weakness. He's showing respect. Old school mercy. Letting two guys live in the woods instead of working in the woods, if you catch my meaning. So when dogs say Bigfoot and Sasquatch are off the grid, no, Calvin. Those two are on big fat Tony Mangione's mercy plan. That's the most expensive subscription in the forest.
Frankie, Joey No Socks told me Nessie from Loch Ness was almost photographed once. Is that true, or is he just running his mouth again?
It's true, Calvin. But that photo wasn't the problem. The problem started when she got involved with big fat Tony Mangione's lakefront capital investments.
What did she do? How does a lake monster end up on big fat Tony Mangione's radar like that?
She touched big fat Tony Mangione's money. Simple. Not stolen, but reallocated it without permission. She thought the lake was sitting on unused capital and made a move.
So, it was a financial mistake. That doesn't sound like something a smart monster would do. Now, Joey No Socks is involved.
And Joey No Socks doesn't collect with questions. He collects with presence. That's why Nessie never resurfaces. She hears footsteps on the shoreline, and remember, she's still in default. Calvin, between Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Nessie from Loch Ness, I don't know why these legendary creatures keep making the same mistake. They all think once they disappear into the woods or the lake, big fat Tony Mangione forgets about the money.
Frankie, I don't think I'm ever going to hear another campfire story the same way again. Now every time somebody says, legend, I'm going to wonder who still owes big fat Tony Mangione money.
Everybody thinks I'm hiding from hikers and trail cameras. Truth is, I buried big fat Tony Mangione's money in the forest. Figured nobody would ever find it out here. Then I moved so deep into these woods, even the bears needed directions. Thought big fat Tony Mangione would never find me. Next morning, Joey No Socks left a fruit basket outside my cave. There wasn't even a card. He already knew I knew who it was from.
I've moved to 4 different forests this year. Borrowed money from big fat Tony Mangione, and my cousin Bigfoot put up the loan. We defaulted. Now big fat Tony sent Joey No Socks after us. Every time I settle in, I tell myself, this is the one place Joey No Socks won't find me. First forest, I went high altitude. Second forest, I went deeper into the ridge lines. Third forest, I stopped leaving footprints altogether. Fourth forest, I didn't even pick it. I just followed a deer for 3 days and figured if it was good enough for him, it was good enough for me. I even started walking backwards for a while, just to confuse the trail. Didn't matter. Joey No Socks still mailed my collection notice to the right tree. And the worst part, he didn't even have to ask for directions. He already knew I was going to move there before I did.
People keep asking why I never leave Loch Ness. Everybody thinks I'm hiding because nobody's ever proven I exist. Simple. I used big fat Tony Mangione's money to buy every inch of lakefront property. Forgot one little detail. I never actually owned the lake. Big fat Tony sent Joey No Socks for me, and he has been conducting shoreline inspections ever since. Apparently, big fat Tony wants his money back.